Control-Alt-Delete. That will bring up your Windows Task Manager. Once you are rendering, it will be advantageous to you to first of all click here on image name, and it will alphabetize everything so you can find it easier. You will want to find your Lightwave ScreamerNet.exe that is currently rendering on your main computer. You don't have to worry about this on any other computers. Go to right click, set priority, set that for low. Okay. The reason why you want to do this is because when your second or third or whatever, how many computers you have, when they're done with a file, it's going to send that through the network. And ScreamerNet is very brain dead. Okay, this is why they sell those third-party network programs that help assist with this stuff. But if you don't want to buy those, and you don't have to, they do help, but it's not required. It's very important that when that file is ready, your computer is ready to accept it and put it. It's going to copy the file, the finished file, the render file, into the proper location. So your computer CPU cannot be tied down, bogged down with rendering when that happens. It needs to be fully able to handle that load when it comes in. So set this priority to low. That way anything else that's running will immediately take top priority for your CPU speed, so you have all the speed available to deal with those incoming files when they are ready. Okay? Now, another thing to point out, and this is only important if you have lots of computers, like if you have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 computers. The more computers you have, the more important this will be. In my case, I only have 3 computers. It's never been a problem for me. But when you get up to many, many computers, you will want to consider not rendering on your primary computer, because what's going to happen is you're going to have files coming in more frequently. Sometimes you'll have files coming in from multiple computers at one time, and you're just going to need all your resources available. So there's one way you can do it. You can simply choose not to render on your master computer, and that will give you all of your CPU available, all of your memory. But there's other options. If you want to squeeze every last bit of juice you can out of all your computers, you can do this. You can do set affinity, and this is only good if you have a multiple CPU machine. And I have a quad core machine, so I got 4 CPUs to deal with. So what you could do is like turn off CPU 0, and then this node that's rendering, which looks like this, by the way, I never showed you that before. This is what it looks like when ScreamerNet's doing its thing. It's pretty exciting. That little program will only run on these 3 CPUs. And then you find Lightwave right here, set affinity, and you can turn off these 3, and then it's only running on CPU 0. And what that means is there's going to be one CPU completely dedicated for running your ScreamerNet processes. In other words, taking those files as they come in and putting them in the proper place. So there's something to consider if you have a network running with many, many computers. And I have done this, not on my own system because I only have the 3, but I've had a setup where I was rendering on I think 8 computers, and what was happening is it was skipping files. When the animation was done rendering, I looked in the folder where all the renderings were, and there were like missing files, and I took me a while to realize what was happening, and there was like a bottleneck situation going on there. And ScreamerNet is so brain dead that if a file is ready to transfer and the CPU is busy with something, it's gone. That time rendering is completely lost. So I had to go through and re-render a whole bunch of files. So, and along the lines of third-party rendering, ScreamerNet options like Butterfly Net Render and stuff like that, I don't own any, but I would like to get one in the future, because what they let you do is render to arbitrary frame ranges. So you can say render from frame 1 to 5, 8, 20 through 22, 35, and do all these arbitrary numbers. ScreamerNet, you only have one option, and let me pull up Lightwave and show you this. Okay, in ScreamerNet, or rather in Lightwave, you can see you got the single frame range, you got arbitrary, and you got keyframe. Actually, I've never seen this before. But when it comes to ScreamerNet, it does not use these other ones. The only thing it looks at is single. So that's very important to keep in mind. And if you do not have a third-party network rendering program, you will need to create a scene file for every separate frame range. So if you wanted to do 1 through 5, you would say 1 through 5, save this as a scene file, and then you would say 20 through 22, save this as another scene file, and then 35 through 38, save as another scene file. It's a pain in the butt, but it does work. So, and of course when you go into ScreamerNet, you would load these as one scene file after another, and it will just go through and do one after the other. Okay, that's the end of that. If you have any questions about this, you can put them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And I will see you next time. Good luck.